Hey there, Juan Morales here, and in today's episode we're going to talk about a very important concept, especially for entrepreneurs and everybody who's trying to grow their business, because at the end of the day, that's who I'm talking to: growth marketers, growth hackers, whatever you want to call yourself. And one thing I realize that many people miss out on because they don't really take advantage of it is the idea of having a producer for your project. Most of us are working on our own personal brand or other projects that we may be working on, and usually we have our own limited perspective of what the problem is in front of us, and if we're running into a challenge and that challenge is not being able to be overcome, what's happening is that we have developed some sort of tunnel vision and we can't really see the forest for the trees. And that's why it's so useful to have the position of a producer. So a producer, in the same way that, let's say, Dr. Dre and Eminem work together, the idea of a producer is that the producer is the person who's going to talk you through the creation process and help you through the creation process in order to finally get the product out. This means accountability, this means planning, this means strategy, this means giving you a different vantage point, this means giving you a better point of view to get into the market. Now, what do we mostly do? And I include myself in this because for the longest time I wasn't even doing this myself. I try to do all of it myself. So I'm trying to be the producer and the artist at the same time. And the thing is, like it happens in a racetrack, it's one thing to drive the car and it's another thing to be in the pit and you're working the whole strategy of the team and everything that needs to happen, and you're monitoring everything. It's two different roles, and it's two different people. Now, for the past few years, I've been helping business owners and entrepreneurs and influencers and basically anyone who wants to grow their business using online as a producer. Why? Because they have an idea for a project. And let's say that they come up with a project that's meant to help people go from A to B. Now, when they have that idea by themselves, they may take that idea and share it with like their friends, and their friends may not be the market, so their friends give them some bad advice and then they get discouraged. They may take it to a competitor, and a competitor might run with it and just create the product themselves. Or the smart option, which is to get a producer to bring on board for the project and work with the producer to constantly sharpen the idea, stress test the idea, bulletproof the idea, and make sure that what you have not only is good, but there's a demand for it in the market, there's a strategy to put it to market, there is the proper appetite for that particular project or product, and more importantly, what you get is a partner that can help you keep the sights in front of you and not lose sight of what the goal is. Because a lot of times what ends up happening is we'll go through what I like to call the validation circle, which is we put something out there, we don't get the validation that we need, and then we think we have to work on it again in order to improve the performance, and then we try it again, or we change the name, or we ultimately get discouraged. And that's what happens when we're working by ourselves. But when we're working with a producer, someone who has a track record, who has worked with others in the past, and knows what it takes, knows how to set up, and looks at opportunities as something strategic and that can be seized upon and then parlayed into something else, that's really who you're looking for in your business. Now, most people never think of this. So they spend all their lives trying to get one product out. And by the end of their lifetime, they don't even get that product out because they've doubted themselves so many times. And that's a critical component of what happens with the producer. See, the artist will get in his head and doubt. The producer is not tied to the same thing that the artist is. So the producer can see it with clear eyes and keep the artist in check by telling them that whatever's happening is actually what was envisioned originally. So it keeps you on track. And this has been one of the hardest things for me to do, but at the same time, one of the most rewarding things for me to do for other people. Because people have great ideas, but they also have great amount of doubt. And by working with them and teaming up with them, I'm able to see what they're doing, help them tweak the ideas, polish the ideas, refine the ideas. Not only the ideas, but also focus on the most important actions to take in order to make those ideas a reality. Because if you don't have someone that's looking over your shoulder and telling you and guiding you in this direction, yes, you'll get there, but you'll get there a lot slower, with a lot more effort, with a lot more discouragement. All these things that take longer will just linger forever, versus focusing exclusively on the most important actions to take, on the most important things that you should be doing right now. And likewise, you're stress testing your ideas and validating them, so you don't have to go into that validation circle, because you know down the line what you're going for. And it's about thinking in time. Not only money in, money out right now, which is where most people think, but the producer's standpoint is to think of how this client is more valuable as time goes by inside of the business. And these are really the key components of this figure. So if you don't have one now, look around you for someone that can help you in that role. Some people are great at this, other people are terrible. You're probably going to have to test some out. But the point is, you want someone who cares about the success of your project. And when you're lined up with someone like that, then this person can assist you in really getting the ideas down the right way, really crushing the projects this way. And you get to keep the credit if that's what the big issue was. See, many times I've seen that the ego gets in the way because the other person that comes in also wants to be a named partner in the project, so that other people know that that person was in there as well. The reason that you haven't seen my name more often come out, even though I've worked with amazing clients, is because the producer's job is supposed to be like a ghostwriter's job. Nobody's supposed to know you're even there. And that's fantastic, because I don't want that. What I want to do is I want to deliver for my clients, and my clients are the ones that are making the products. They're the ones that are going to get all the praise and recognition and all that stuff, and I can keep working with them because, again, it's an integral part of that creation process, especially if you're focusing on creating blockbuster products, software projects, or anything else that you have in mind. That's it for me for now. This is Juan Morales signing out. I'll see you on the next one.